From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Sulaiman Al-Ledo.
Hello and welcome tonight. The Inspector General of Police answers summon by the presidency, tells the nation that the police is investigating the invasion of the National Assembly. Military promises to recover all lost territories, also denies crash of Air Force helicopter. The Supreme Court sacks Adamawa acting governor, orders former deputy governor to take over. And President Barack Obama uses executive powers to force through immigration overhaul, about 4 million people to benefit.
On business news tonight, the Naira drops to a record low of 177 Naira 45 kobo against the dollar at the interbank forex market.
And on sports news tonight, National Under-23 coach Samson Siasia intensifies rebuilding process of the Dream Team, invites 116 players for screening.
We'll begin tonight with the latest on the commotion at the National Assembly in Abuja. Perhaps incensed by the action of the police, the presidency today summoned the Inspector General of Police and ordered him to unravel the roles played by each person in the fracas between his men and lawmakers. Mr. Sulaiman Abe said this after a meeting with the Vice President Namadi Sambo, who had summoned him to the presidential villa Abuja over the invasion of the National Assembly by policemen.
Who did what and who didn't do what will be disclosed to you later. You know, we work with investigations. Investigations are going on, and the press officer will address you.
Are you saying you were not
in an hour's time?
Are you saying you are not aware of that operation?
I still repeat, who did what and who didn't do what will be heard later, subject to investigations. We don't just talk anyhow. Thank you. Thank you indeed.
Well, the Nigerian army has promised to recover all lost territories to insurgents in the ongoing battle against terrorism in the northeast. The spokesman for the army, Brigadier General Olajide Laleye, told journalists in Abuja that the military has fashioned new strategies to win the fight. He gave the assurance of further improvement in their operations as the army prepares for its third quarter conference.
You will recall that the third quarter Chief of Army Staff Conference was held here in Abuja sometime in August. And after that conference, a lot of remarkable improvements in our operations in the Northeast were recorded. And in line with what our Chief of Army Staff has said, that all lost territories will be regained by the Nigerian Army. Now, this annual conference will review the ongoing counter-insurgency operations, amongst others, and explore other courses of action. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the Nigerian Army, like most well-organized and effective armies in the world, is best known for upholding discipline as the bedrock of its continued existence. Operations undertaken by the Nigerian Army and by extension by the armed forces of Nigeria, that is the military, are purely military operations. When the Nigerian Army undertakes operations, it does not do it in collaboration with any form of civilian. It is a purely military operation. If the civilian JTF and hunters are used, they are purely used for the purpose of maybe gaining local intelligence. As you will agree with me, the civilian JTF are members of those communities in which, of the Northeast, where these insurgency operations are going on. To that effect, they know the ground, they know the people, they know certain things. So, for the procurement of on-the-spot and up-to-date intelligence, the Nigerian Army may use them, because we have our own sources also.
Brigadier Laleye there speaking on the efforts of the military to win back lost territories. But now at least 4 to 5 people have been killed in a Boko Haram reprisal on Azaya Kura village in Borno State, Nigeria's northeastern region. Reports say that the militants stormed the village to avenge 4 of the members who had wandered into the market, but were identified and killed by soldiers in a gunfight. Chairman of Mafa local government, Shatima Lawan, says the victims have been buried. Mafa district and Azaya Kura are located in an area near the Nigerian border with Cameroon. The Nigerian military has denied crash of an Air Force helicopter in Yola, Adamawa State. But reports say the crash occurred moments after lift-off in the Damare neighborhood of the Federal University of Technology in Yola. Recall that on November the 10th, a helicopter on surveillance mission crashed in a suburb of Jire local government area of Adamawa State. Also on November the 14th, yet another chopper crashed in Jarenga village near Yola in the morning of Thursday. According to eyewitness accounts, a series of explosions accompanied the crash, causing panic in the area. All 4 persons on board are believed to have died when the helicopter exploded. Now, leaving security matters now, the Supreme Court has removed the Taraba State Acting Governor, Mr. Garba Umar. Sitting in Abuja, the nation's federal capital territory, the Apex Court ruled that the former Deputy Governor, Abubakar Danladi, should be immediately reinstated and sworn in as Acting Governor. In a unanimous judgment, the Supreme Court held that the impeachment panel set up by the House of Assembly to investigate the allegations against Danladi violated his rights to fair hearing. The impeachment panel was said to have gone ahead with its proceedings without hearing Danladi and recommended his impeachment. The panel also disregarded his court papers, which is served on it to challenge its composition. Justice Sylvester Nguta, who delivered the lead judgment, ruled that there seemed to be conspiracy between both the Taraba State High Court and, in his word, the kangaroo impeachment panel to frustrate the appellant.
In its 1-hour judgment, the Apex Court held that based on undisputed facts in the affidavit of Mr. Abubakar Danladi, who is the appellant, the court is of the view that the court below ought to have resolved the issues of denial of fair hearing in the favor of the appellant, who challenged the composition of the 7-man panel of inquiry that investigated the allegations of misconduct against him. According to Justice Sylvester Nguta, who read the lead judgment, the court below ought to have declared the entire proceedings of the panel, made up of officials nominated by the House of Assembly, null and void and of no legal effect whatsoever. The court therefore vacated the judgment of the appeal court, which upheld an earlier ruling of the Federal High Court that the impeachment of the Deputy Governor followed due process. It also ordered the immediate reinstatement of the sacked Deputy Governor.
The Supreme Court has said that the procedure followed in impeaching the man right from the tribunal is wrong. It did not give him fair hearing, and as such, the whole trial, including the tribunal trial, High Court trial in Taraba, the Court of Appeal trial, have been set aside. This impeachment have been set aside. All courts have always held that any legislative business will have to be conducted or done on the floor of the legislative house, what we call the chamber. You cannot go to your girlfriend's house or the majority leader's house, as they did in this case, and say you started impeachment proceedings. The law, the constitution, which is the norm, which is the grand norm, which is the binding law on you and I, forbids that.
But what implication is this judgment, given that the current Deputy Governor, Mr. Garba Umar, is also acting as the Governor of the state as a result of the ill health of the Governor of the state, Dambaba Suntai?
The person who is acting now should take his seat and run away quickly. Because the Lord didn't see that. The Lord didn't see that he has never been deputy or acting governor.
The drama surrounding the leadership of Taraba State appears to be far from over. Questions begging for answers is whether the orders of the court will be obeyed and if the Deputy Governor, who is also the acting governor, will vacate office. Amaka Okafu, Channels Television News.
Well, railway will be a major investment hub in Nigeria within the next 10 years. This assurance is coming from President Goodluck Jonathan, who's affirmed the federal government's commitment to linking all state capitals by rail. However, this move requires over $50 billion investment in the Nigerian railway is to meet global standards. Our London correspondent Doris Okenwa reports on the just concluded Honorary International Investment Council meeting in the United Kingdom.
The 17th Honorary International Investment Council meeting, presided over by President Goodluck Jonathan in London. Present were members of his cabinet alongside other top government functionaries, diplomats, local and international investors. The council is in its 10th year now, inaugurated in 2004 to advise the Nigerian government, identify and remove barriers to investment.
We have to work together.
The logistics that will make business work in Nigeria was the focus of the meeting. Transportation, with special emphasis on railways.
We all agree that you cannot move the economy of the country without a good infrastructure. Now, quite a number of companies have to create roads to get to their sites, because it's not supposed not to be so. And our belief is that in the next 3 to 4 years, we'll be able to resurface all the federal government road network across the country.
The benefits of functional rail networks have been touted over time, but there might be a political will now to take current efforts to a higher level.
Every state capital has to be linked by rail, and if we don't do that, our roads will not last. And until we're able to link all our state capitals by rail, that we could say that mass transit is being properly handled in the country.
There has been a major buzz in the railway sector in recent times, with some lines completed and commuting in progress, officials say.
It's not that we have just started. We started 3 years ago, but now we're talking about moving into another level, but also getting the private sector involved to share their own experiences and also to see what we can do to support the investment plan in the country.
We are working assiduously to complete the rehabilitation of the Eastern Line from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. By the end of this year, we hope to complete the rehabilitation of the segment from Port Harcourt to Gombe.
The timeline for this, for those lines have been completed, we need the potential investors to come.
How much investment are we talking about here to drive this to the next level?
We're talking about investments of like about $50 billion.
A functional transportation system will make the lives of many Nigerians easier. Building and sustaining railway networks definitely goes beyond one administration, as this council has noted. It takes political will and continuity for it to happen. From London, Doris Okenwa reporting for Channels Television.
Well, in part 2 after the break, how passion and resilience propel men to success in their businesses. That's at the 2014 International Men's Day Symposium organized by Standard Chartered Bank. Do stay with us.